The St. Bavo Cathedral has a religion function. It's the house of the bishop. There are also a lot of art, so it has also a cultural. In the project, we put the two things together, so that people who want to pray can go, but also the people who want just as tourists visit the art, they can also go into the project. My name is Philip the Potter, so I'm the chief of the Brussels Architects, and our office is existing already more than 100 years. We are a company with more than 30 persons, and everything was begun with the restoration of churches, etc. It was in the beginning of my career that we are working on the cathedral. We have already done works on the tower of the cathedral. So this project, I think the fifth project that we are doing on the cathedral. So the most special thing about the building is that it's one of the most oldest buildings of the neighborhood here. It's in fact the start of the city of Ghent. It's a monument, and every historical thing on the building, we must preserve it for the future, and in the same time we must also make that the people can also visit everything of the cathedral. It was also very difficult to do the works because we must also go in the ground to restore the walls and also to make the building. But there are a lot of people who are buried here from the very long time. So we have found very much skeletons, etc. It was very delicate work.
Well, first of all, the installation on the site was a very difficult one because it's on a difficult site to reach of the cathedral. So there were big cranes, but you can also see all the walls are not straight, and we have not a lot of space here to operate. So that was a very hard one to do the installation. It's high, it's special. So I'm Jan Lotens. I'm a founder, owner of a company who is making steel windows. After an experience, my first boss with the Jansen profiles, and after a few years working there, I thought I can do it myself, and then I started with Ron and his team with the profiles, and so we got a little bit bigger, and now we are a company with about 80 colleagues, and we are doing nothing else, nearly nothing else, than steel windows.
First it was very difficult, and how we can make it, and a lot of discussions with the government because it was so very delicate work. Yeah, the connection was very important because it was also for the Flemish government has told us when you are building something against the cathedral, it must not support on the cathedral, it must stand on itself. And so that was very important. So we have the new construction is built near the cathedral, but don't support on it. And so that's the reason that we must look for a construction where the lift and also the stairs are supporting itself. And at the same time, it must be on the outside, it must be completely open. That's the reason that we have chosen for Jansen profile. It was a very complex way to build.
It's a project with a lot of work hours in it, but it's not so big, so it wasn't something we can say we will order 5,000 meters of this. It was rather small. I think we were speaking of the special profiles in 500, 600, 700 meters, and that's not so easy to find a company who wants to think together with you to produce also those small quantities with special shaped, special materials. So that was a challenge, and also for Jansen and for the team of Jansen Belgium.
The most of the things we must create it also in the cathedral itself, because in our office, okay, you can design a lot of things, but when you are here in the cathedral, we must find a solution for a lot of things.
For us, the project was rather special because of the material they choose. Most of the profiles inside are in real bronze. So that's not a standard material, it's quite expensive and also not common deliverable. So some of the profiles were tailor-made. Also here in the big extension we had the curtain wall with at the outside the special glass beads and those were also special made from Jansen. So I think the material and the way the material is treated was for us exceptional.
Everything is changing very fast, so I'm sure that also the buildings must change with the people. And I'm sure when you're building with steel, that it's also very good to follow this changing.
But the curtain wall system of Jansen we used the VIS standard and the VIS basic, so we can mount it on the steel profiles with the VIS basic. They are quite packed in, so you nearly can't see anymore the beautiful profiles, but they are in it.
The most principal material is the brass that we have used, because it's an historical material. They have used it in candles, in the paintings, they have used it in everything of the cathedral. And it was especially to find one material that guides the visitors. Because the cathedral had lots of phases in historical time, and there are a lot of different kind of architecture in it. And so with this one material, everything come together. Yeah, for us it's very important to keep the safety, also the design in the project, and also the functionality. That's for us the first things we must think about. For me it's very important that the design in the first place is that everyone can use it on an easy way. It must be functional, because otherwise it don't existing very long. It must be also have a kind of beautifulness in it, and it must also represent also the time where you are living in. That's for me design, so it can change all the time, always. When there are problems, and there are lots of problems in the whole project, we find a new solution and we can integrate it in the project on a quality way, and at the end of the works that we can say that we have do a very difficult, very complex project, but that we have doing something where everyone is like it, and that's for me the highlight of this project.
I heard there were about already in the year it's open 5 million visitors, so it's huge, that's important. I know the building from when I was young because I'm from Ghent, so the project we were able to help to design is known by every Belgian, so it's a very important project. Of course we are proud on this project.